Welcome to Sports Talk at the Stadium tonight from Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia, where the Georgia Bulldogs tonight took down the Clemson Tigers 45-21. This was truly a game of two different halves, 21-21 at the break. It looked like we were going to have a great second half and a down-to-the-wire finish, but it was all Georgia for most of the fourth quarter. Really, it was still a close game going into the fourth quarter. It was just a three-point difference between the teams early in the fourth quarter. But Clemson did nothing going on offense in the second half. And Georgia in the fourth quarter, they got the running game going, and they got it going big with Todd Gurley and his comrades at running back breaking loose, rushing for 211 yards in the fourth quarter alone. The Bulldogs had two drives of one big play each that put the game on ice. Thursday night we saw Kenny Hill dice up South Carolina's defense, and we started talking about Kenny Hill as a front runner for the Heisman. Let's back that up a little bit. You got to put Todd Gurley at the very top of the list after what he did here tonight. He rushed for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also returned a kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown as well. He can do it all, and a lot of his yards, of course, came after contact. The Clemson defense just wore down in the second half. The Tigers have a lot of veterans on this defense. They have a lot of talent on this defense. But in the second half, they were just overmatched by Georgia's offensive front and the talents of Todd Gurley. Georgia had a terrific game plan for Gurley. The quick toss to the short side of the field, get him on the edge and let him use his power and speed to break away. And then the cutback play where you get the flow going one way and then Gurley cuts it back to the middle of the field. It's usually pretty open for him, and then he's hard to bring down in that open field. So it was a terrific offensive concept for Georgia tonight with that running game, and they just grounded the Tigers into the turf between the hedges tonight with that. Clemson came out and looked like $1 million. Cole Stout was very good in the opening drive, and the Tigers went down the field. A 38-yard pass to Mike Williams was a big play, and the Tigers knocked it in the end zone to take the early 7-0 lead, and it was a tight game in the first half. Deshaun Watson came in. He threw a gorgeous touchdown pass. He looked very cool and calm and collected for a true freshman getting his first taste of major college football. And we went into halftime 21-21 and thought we'd have a great second half. It just didn't turn out to be that way. The Tigers just could not get good field position. The average starting field position for the two teams, Georgia at its own 42, Clemson at its own 18. The Tigers were pinned back most of the second half. Chad Morris had to be a little conservative with the play calling as a result of that, and that resulted in a lot of 3-and-outs. On their last 9 possessions of the game, the Tigers punted 7 times, they missed a field goal, and they had a pass interception. So it was not the kind of offensive performance that Clemson fans have come to love. So, South Carolina and Clemson fans, you have something in common. You got a lot of worries about your football team right now. And I know that Tiger fans jumped on the Gamecocks Thursday night because they were blown out at home and got beat by 24 points and gave up 52. Well, Clemson got beat by 24 points, gave up 45. Actually, they gave up another touchdown in the last minute of the ball game, but it was called back for a motion penalty, and then Georgia took a knee. So you shouldn't throw the old rocks if you live in a glass house, as the old saying goes. There is plenty of angst to go around for both teams now as we look ahead to next week. Clemson at home at Death Valley against South Carolina State, FCS team. And Tigers should, of course, have no trouble with the Bulldogs, no disrespect to Buddy Pugh. Then they get a week off, and then they go to Tallahassee. So they've got a lot of work to do, especially, well, really on both sides. You can't just pin this on the defense and say that they got the defense, because they gave up 45 points, blew this game. Again, this was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, but the offense could not get anything going. The defense was left in a situation of dealing with short field and with great offense and a great running back to deal with, and basically they just caved in over the last 13 or 14 minutes. So plenty to do for the Tigers. Get themselves ready for their next big game in a couple of weeks against Florida State. We will have more to say about this game, of course, Monday night, Labor Day night on Sports Talk. We will be there. We'll be on the 8606. Hope you can join us. Please share your comments with us here on this page. If you want to leave a written comment, or of course on the show, give us a call on Monday night.